Philosopher's Stone. Not the one from Harry Potter, but the actual Philosopher's Stone that alchemists have been trying to invent, discover, find for centuries. Philosopher's Stone should be a material that turns metal into gold. Just take a second to really think about it, because you may obviously ignore the whole case and be an arrogant prick and say that they were just dumbasses believing in magic, which is totally not true, by the way. Because magic is everything we don't understand, and understandment comes with knowledge, and knowledge is being built up over centuries. People 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 1,000,000 years ago. If there were people 1,000,000 years ago, I actually don't know. I believe that humanity is 100,000 years old, so it might be not 1,000,000 though. Anyway, doesn't matter. They were not more or less intelligent than we are. So they believe in magic, right? They believe in fire, like being the actual god and stuff like that. And they were looking for Philosopher's Stone because they didn't know better. So here is what I think. Magic comes in as the result of human intuition that haven't been built up to knowledge yet. Philosopher's Stone should be a material turning any metal into gold, because gold is far more precious than any other metal. And here is the whole purpose why I record myself talking shit all this time. All this time throughout this particular episode, I mean. Why gold is such a precious metal? Because it is non-reactive. That's the only reason. Gold is non-reactive. Of course, from chemical point of view, it's not fully the case, because I believe that gold can react with oxygen. It's been ages since I was studying chemical engineering, and I never actually finished with any degree, so don't listen to me, alright? But anyway, gold is non-reactive. Here comes the power, and people hundreds of years ago understood well. That's why among all the other metals, all other substances, gold was chosen as the precious metal. It was not iron. It was not copper. It was not bronze. From iron and bronze and titanium, if you can, you could create weapons to kill people, to conquer countries. Why they were not the precious metals? Why it was gold that is soft? Like, gold is relatively soft. There were no golden swords, at least not to my knowledge. Gold was used as a matter of ornament, if you wanted to decorate your blade, but it was not the actual part doing any damage. We believed for hundreds of years that non-reactiveness is a sign of the highest power. The kings, people that we chose among ourselves, or that faith chosen, or shamans chosen, or whatever chosen, right, were all bathing in gold. Because non-reacting is a true power. And you know it is true. You know very well it is true. Think about people going through hell that you know personally. You know people in your personal life going through hell and they're fine. They're going through such situations that you couldn't imagine putting yourself in, and they are smiling. They are non-reactive. They are like gold. They're precious. And you see great strength and great value in it. Whenever you see a person, that's another thing that Naval Ravikant pointed out in one of his podcast episodes. If you would be to meet Socrates, you'd expect him to be silent. Because this is what you associate with wisdom. Wise people are silent. They don't speak much. Because how they express themselves is how they are inside. Peaceful and still. Non-reactive. The ancient knowledge, or rather ancient intuition, as I pointed out before, is actually a very interesting subject to me. Take, for example, the gods. Because with Christianity came a phenomenal non-existing before. Well, Islam might have been before, providing the same value of one God and one God only, actually. But before that, let's say before Islam then. I don't know much about Islam, I don't know much about Allah, so I don't want to talk about it. So, we can agree to Islam. I don't really mind because I don't know. We had gods associated with parts of our culture, with forces of nature, this kind of stuff. And it kind of reminds me of a fragment of speech of Slavoj Žižek, a Slovakian philosopher, that Greeks were not stupid, and they didn't think that Zeus is sitting on the top of Olympus mountain, and if it would just climb it, they can speak with him. They weren't stupid. We tend to think that people believing in God sitting on a mountain, or people believing that fire is a god, were just stupid assholes, and we just suddenly got smarter. We haven't got smarter, we got more knowledgeable. That's a big difference. And Greeks didn't believe that gods are sitting physically on the top of the mountains. They knew that it's metaphorical. They knew that the face of Zeus as a father of all nations, like, come on, Zeus was shaggy as hell. It's metaphorical. It's a representation. It's a facade. Did Islam and Christianity really did make a good job by changing all of the gods to only one? Did Christianity did a good job by changing metaphorical human body of God to literal human body of a god? Was it a really good thing? And that's exactly my point. Because as intuition is natural and true, knowledge can be false. We can believe in things that are false. The very fact that the earth is flat was knowledge for hundreds of years, if not thousands of years, before Copernicus. So knowledge can be false, while intuition seems to be true, because the origin of intuition seems to be undeniably in the roots of our nature. Well, knowledge is made up. Knowledge is simply organized thoughts about the reality, not necessarily reflecting reality correctly. That's really something to think about. And it kind of reminds me of what Elon Musk said, that every engineer in the world, including very good engineers, are being taught to solve problems, are being taught to optimize. So whenever you get a good engineer and you provide him a problem you're having, he will try to optimize a certain part of the project without even thinking if this part is even necessary. Because whenever you're at the university or at school and you get a mathematical problem that someone is having 27 watermelons, you gotta solve the problem about 27 more watermelons, and you are not allowed to ask the question, why the fuck this guy had 27 watermelons, which is the only good question to ask. You are being taught to optimize, to solve problems, but never to question them in the first place. How many parts of our actual knowledge about our society and about our culture, about the religions, that are scattered around the world, about the philosophies we follow, is actually false knowledge that we just made up. If you really think about it, if you think about it deeply, it is not our ancestors 10,000 years ago that were dumb for praising cats. I think it's us that we don't know why. Not anymore.